Welcome to the Cabrera Lab podcast.
Hey.
How are you?
You remembered.
I did remember.
Thank you for asking. I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm phantasmographic.
Phantasmographic. Okay, that's a good one. We won't break that one apart. Okay. So as a refresher, if people are coming in at this one, we have a thing called the GOAT Code.
Yeah.
Which is basically central tenets of our culture as an organization.
Yes. The goat being our mascot.
Okay. This one's a fun one. Carhartts and Cufflinks. We want to be equally at home in a workshop and in the boardroom, comfortable between blue and white collar, street and sweet, dirt and digital. Meaning we're not just one thing. We can do everything that's required to do the job right.
Yeah, this is, I mean, I don't know if this is like a universal one. It's one that I've had for a very long time. It kind of bumps up against Vitruvian in that it's just about being well-rounded. Like, I want to be able to go to a biker bar. I want to be able to go to the fanciest place in the world. Yeah. And I want to be able to talk to any kind of person anywhere. And be comfortable in all of those situations. And I don't think you need to judge them. There are interesting things in all those situations. And so sometimes I think we have a chip on our shoulder about, well, it's not like... Yeah. And that's really just, again, that's getting to your motivational intelligence. And why am I not motivated to learn in that kind of environment? Right. And so... it just reminds you, like, you know, you could have Carhartts on the bottom and Tux on the top, or Tux on the bottom and Carhartts on the top. And I believe that this and the combination with Vitruvian, that people have an itch to scratch. Mm-hmm. And that itch is the human itch. Yeah. And that human itch is made up of not one thing, but like multiple slices of a pie, you know? Yeah. And I think if you don't scratch all those itches, you just lose, like, you just always feel like you're not fully human, you know, because there's like a human itch. One lane. You want to be in the whole pool. There's a human itch. Everything. We all want to try things. Yeah. Like, this one is just about being comfortable. Yeah. That's what smart is. Yeah. Smart is the ability to adapt in whatever situation, you know, whether you're in an evening gown or you know, yoga pants or... yeah. Or Carhartt work boots or you know, dirty jobs or whatever it is that you're doing, you're just comfortable there. Yeah. You know? And you're doing your best. You're bringing your best self to each. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Okay, one of my favorite things is being just like we just did this, being really grubby in the mountains and, you know, you're eating absolute nothing and, you know, not that great of food but it tastes delicious when you're eating it, you know, the most delicious food in the world. And then you get out and you dress up and you go out to a nice restaurant and, you know, and it's like the contrast. Yeah, that's cool. The contrast. You get an appreciation for everything when you get that contrast in life. And a big part of life is contrast, I think. Yeah. In my opinion. I agree. This one, I don't know if this one is, like, again, it might not be a universal to every culture. Some of these are universal to any culture that you just need. I mean, if you have an organization that doesn't have integrity, for example, you're in bad straits. Yeah. If you don't understand micro makes the macro and you're living in CASs all day long, then you're just going to get it wrong a lot. Yeah. This one's more of like a personal. Yeah, but I kind of like this one because to me, because I'm not you, obviously. To me, when I heard this from you, because this is something that you brought into these things, I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. You don't have to have this belief that you're in literally, like I'm saying, like one lane of life. Yeah, don't be typecast. Like I can swim in the whole pool. I can go in the kiddie pool. Not that you want to go in the kiddie pool. I can go in the deep end. I can go in a hot, you know, like there's all kinds of stuff to try. Totally. Right. And so to me, that was sort of what I took away from it. Yeah. Okay. Now the next one is a big one. Okay. Because it's something that we all read a book about. And what is it? Extreme ownership. Oh, yeah. It doesn't mean blaming yourself for everything. It means recognizing where you have agency and taking full responsibility there and reclaiming your power. Yeah. Extreme ownership is a very cool idea. There's lots of other people in the world that talk about this. I think it was developed by the SEALs. I'm not sure if
think
that's
so.
true, but or generally the special forces.
That's how we heard about it.
Yeah, and I think Jocko talks about this a ton, and
Yeah.
he's written a bunch of books on it that are very popular. It's a great concept. There's lots more to learn about it, but I mean, to me, one of the things that I don't think gets talked about enough in extreme ownership is that it only works. It works as an individual in your life because even if it's not your fault, by taking ownership of it, because nothing is really your fault. And I know people be freaked out about it, but in systems, everything's webs of causality,
Right,
period.
right.
So extreme ownership is kind of like a duct tape solution to make yourself more successful because you don't let excuses happen.
Yes.
And if it is a web of causality, well, you figure out your influence on that web of causality and you get the most out of it. So as an individual person, extreme ownership is super important.
Yes.
But as an organizational culture, it's really important that if you have extreme ownership, it has to be enculturated.
Right.
Because if everybody isn't doing extreme ownership, there's going to be a breakdown at some point where the person's just like, here I am doing extreme ownership all the time.
Yeah.
And nobody else is doing it.
Yeah.
And again, as an individual, that's always going to be the best play. I'm not saying it's not.
Yeah.
But it's really important to bring extreme ownership to the whole organization, that all the agents in the system are taking extreme ownership. And if everybody does that, you get this hyper-functional team.
Yes, and I also think one of the things, because you and I talked about it a bit, is the concept of extreme ownership. To me, what it does is it removes fear from accountability, right? So accountability, taking accountability to yourself and to others, is actually kind of a powerful move.
Totally.
As an individual.
Totally.
Because you're actually standing in your own space as you are, and willing to sort of share and take responsibility without fear of repercussion. It becomes a strength.
Totally.
Rather than a weakness.
Totally. It's funny that if you listen to some versions of extreme ownership, you might think that it's like paradoxically or antithetical to systems thinking, but it's actually fully in alignment with webs of causality.
Yeah.
Because if you think about a network of something is happening, this thing that we don't like is happening, and actually in most organizations what we do is we go, well, whose fault is it?
Right.
It's this guy's fault. And we target this guy.
Yeah.
Or it's this department's fault.
Right.
So we target that department, right? But really what's happening is like this is causing this and this is leading to this, and you've got this web of causality that is, interacting with different things, and this is interacting with that. And this thing is the emergent property of all those interactions.
Right.
And so when everybody takes extreme ownership, what you're fundamentally doing is actually rebuilding the web of causality. Because everybody has some influence. I could have influenced this person different to make them have to not do this thing, so if I can erase this, then we could erase some of that.
Right.
So when you do extreme ownership culturally, what it actually does is it brings about true agent-based webs of causality, which is what's really always happening is webs of causality.
Which means you're seeing the reality of the situation. And
which is
also,
why it works.
You're going to come up with a solution or an analysis that fits the complexity of the problem and avoids the problem repeating.
Yes.
Which is good.
Right? Exactly.
As an organization, that's what you want.
And that's the problem is if we blame this guy, then we're going to repeat the problem.
We're going to fire him.
The
and
first
find another
problem
guy.
took less time than understanding the system. So we have this externality, which is this is going to take too much time to build extreme ownership. But if you take the time to build it culturally, then you're not repeating the firing, the this, the that never affects the problem.
Yeah.
So if you look at it in the big picture, you're actually spending more time and more money with this blame game kind of mentality.
Right. And also I'm getting the origin because when everybody takes their part of the ownership, that's how you're building a team,
Totally.
a shared understanding, a shared responsibility.
Yeah.
Which makes sense why it comes from military.
Yeah,
in
for
that
sure.
sense. Okay, the next one is interesting. No discipline, no freedom.
Yeah.
So most people think discipline limits freedom, but it's actually the opposite. Discipline builds the structures that create freedom of time, mind, energy, and direction.
Yeah, and this is another one that sometimes it's called discipline equals freedom.
Oh, okay.
But I like no discipline equals no freedom.
It's more motivational because
For me, it's more motivational because I don't know why, but they're the same thing, right? And they're just the negation.
I can tell you why.
Why?
Because of distinctions is not.
Yeah.
The concept of not freedom is very impactful. To lose your freedom,
Yeah.
to me, is more powerful than freedom.
Yes.
So not freedom is a more impactful
Yes.
idea.
Yes.
Because I want my freedom. And if you imply that you're taking it.
Yeah, and I don't necessarily want discipline. Like
Nobody
that's not
wants
no. Like I'm not like I don't wake up and go like I want more discipline.
Right.
I want more freedom.
Right.
And the idea of not having freedom is such is so like oh geez. Then if I connect that to no freedom is no discipline, then I want discipline.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
But it's the same thing mathematically. Yeah. So, and lots of other folks like Jocko and others talk about this, but I think it's really important because to me, it motivates me to have discipline. And discipline often is sometimes, I think Mike Tyson described it as actually enjoying things that you hate. Which I think is an interesting way to think about discipline. Like finding a way to enjoy the things that you don't like initially.
Yeah.
Is discipline.
Yeah, I think of it as doing things that are hard.
Yeah.
And just being willing to push through them until they're not hard.
Yeah, but I think if you take it the next step, it's like not just being willing to push through them, but loving the reality so much that you actually find a way to enjoy it. Yeah. And that's where discipline really starts to kick in and be a flywheel that just keeps giving, right? Is when you go past the, I'm just going to power through it, and that's discipline, and then I'll have my freedom. It's more like, I'm going to find a way to enjoy this. I'm going to find the silver lining in the process. Yeah. And when you do that, then it's really enjoyable. Yeah. And it becomes like I said, it becomes a reinforcing feedback loop.
I also like the way that we had phrased it, or the way you had phrased it, because you're saying discipline is about creating the structures to shape the behavior. Because most people think of discipline as a bad thing, like you're being disciplined, you're being punished, you're being this. But when you think of it as like you're creating the structures to facilitate the behaviors, that's a different way of thinking about it.
That's a very different way of thinking about it, and it's one that comes from having massive ADD.
I'm aware.
Because there are some things in ADD that you're just not going to accomplish certain things that are easy for other people if you don't change your systems.
Yes.
And so this is why an understanding of systems is so important, especially in organizations, but also individually, personally. Because a lot of times the thing that you have to change in order to have discipline is the structures.
Yes.
If you can change the structures in your life, the structure is going to determine the behavior. So if you wake up into an existing structure, then the behavior will just click into place. Right. But if that structure is missing, oftentimes the behavior won't come. And I think a lot of people, to a lot of folks, discipline, which is it's an amazing thing that humans can have such discipline even when they haven't built the systems. Yeah. Right? But it's in many cases not sustainable. Right? It leads to burnout, it leads to all kinds of things. If you can build the systems and if you can find the joy in the thing you don't like, which has a lot to do with having motivational intelligence, motivational smarts, which is the Vitruvian part. If you can kind of balance those things, then discipline doesn't become a cold, hard slog. Discipline becomes a reinforcing flywheel that just keeps on giving. Yeah.
I also think there's this disinformation where people think, oh, either you have discipline or you don't. But you're saying
every day.
Right, you can create
Either
it.
you have push-ups or you don't.
But you can create discipline.
You can create discipline. You can build it by building better systems and by understanding the things that when you want to quit, Well, why do I want to quit? Well, what does it mean to be in pain? Like, what does it mean for something to be hard? When it's hard is when I'm getting the greatest benefit, because my body or my mind is getting the challenge, and my body is or my mind is gonna adapt to that challenge. So ironically, as soon as it gets hard, you're getting the most benefit. Right? As an analogy, if I'm doing 12 reps of something, well, rep 1 through 8 isn't hard, but rep 8 through 12 is hard, but I'm getting exponential benefit as soon as it starts getting hard.
Right.
Same with mental processing and practice. If you practice things that are hard for your mind will adapt.
Yeah.
And the next day they'll be less hard. And that's the thing we're trying to get, is that skill.
Yeah.
You're not going to get the skill if you don't have the difficulty, right?
Right.
Challenge equals change. So challenge equals change kind of goes with discipline equals freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also I think when you get used to being challenged regularly, then you're going to seek out challenge.
100%.
Right. You're not going to take an average day with no challenge the same way, because you're like, why? Because you get all those endorphins, you get all that psychological reinforcement, the feel goods.
Yeah. Neurologically,
so
cognitively, all kinds of cool stuff happens.
Next.
Yes.
People say this one back to me a lot. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast.
Yep.
Right? Rushing is sloppy, and sloppy slows you down. But when you breathe, focus, and move with intention, everything gets sharper, cleaner, and faster over time.
Yep.
So slow down, smooth it out, and watch how fast you can get.
This one's so important. And I think, again, this one comes from the SEALs. It's so important. It is one that we don't do enough, and I'll give you an example. I can do RDSs all day long. RDSs is a relationship distinction system. It's one of the most important moves. It's where you take two things and you relate them. That's the R. You distinguish the relationship, so you say what the relationship is. That's the D. And then you think of that relationship as a part-whole system, meaning it has parts.
Yep.
This is probably one of the most important cognitive moves you can do. But you can learn this conceptually and forget it.
Yes.
You can learn it and practice it a few times and struggle with it a little bit. And maybe every once in a while, when you're kind of feeling reflective, you'll remember it. Mm-hmm. But if you really drill this, if you drill it and slow it down and go, okay, I'm gonna draw this out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna draw this out, right? I'm gonna start by slowing it down.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to deal with the structure. Then I'm going to add information and do it for several examples. And I'm going to do that 100 times.
Yeah.
Here's the part where it gets crazy.
Yeah.
When you're in the shit.
Yeah.
When you're in the chaos.
Yeah.
When you're in the conflict. When you're in the meeting with 12 people. It's going to be fast.
Right.
So if you slow it down and you practice, as you practice slowing it down, if you take the time to practice and you get repetition better every day, the benefit comes when it comes to you in a moment, in a second. Yeah. That's the fast part.
Yeah. Yeah.
So by slowing it down and practicing it repetitively, and then as you get better at it, you speed it up. The importance of, then this is just one systems thinking move, but it's the truth for all the 6 most important ones and many more, is it's going to be there for you instantaneously when it's not for anyone else.
It's going to be intuitive.
It's going to be intuitive and it's going to be fast.
Yeah.
And that's what everybody wants.
Yeah.
But very few people are willing to take the time to slow it down and practice and get repetitions.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's like, you watch these guys jam on stage with the guitar or with the drums or whatever. Well, how did they start? When they started that off with...
Yeah.
And then they add...
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? So... And pretty soon you're fast.
Yeah.
And not only are you fast, you're adaptive, because the guy on the guitar is like, and you're like, and And now you can adapt and you can jam. Jam is the ultimate adaptive intelligence in music, right? Because you're jamming, you're picking up on the dynamic, and then this guy's over there is doing that, and then you're doing both those things, and pretty soon you get this like beautiful thing happening.
Yeah.
So slow is fast, fast is smooth. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast is just describing this process that is so critically important. And it's what everybody wants without even knowing that they want it. They want to be in that meeting, and they want to be like, wow, there's 12 different things going on here, and it's really complex stuff, and it's a really important meeting about a really important decision that has to be made for my company or my project or whatever. And I want to be able to track all the things that are happening and see the systemic picture and zero in on the thing that needs to be said. And it's this relationship with these parts, and your brain goes 12 perspectives and relationships, and then boom. What are you laughing at?
That was very animated.
Oh, it was?
No,
Sorry.
I liked it. You're just like beautiful minding it.
Yeah.
It just is a Mission Impossible moment.
But that's what I'm saying is everybody wants that. And I'm saying that's not something that you're born with.
Yeah.
That's something you can build.
Yes.
And that's something every single human being has the capability of building.
Yeah.
If they're willing to take it slow, make it smooth, build up the speed, build up the repetitions so that you burn the neurons in your brain.
Yeah.
And then when you need it,
it's there.
It's like...
I like that. And it's, we talk about it a lot.
Yeah.
You get the fundamentals, you get the fundamentals, you get the...
This is the crux of everything we teach.
Then it becomes...
Yeah. We know exactly what to practice. And if you practice it, this will happen.
All right. We're getting to the final stretch.
The final stretch.
The final stretch.
The final countdown.
Did you hear? We should get out of the studio more often every once in a while, because you come back completely. Okay, the next one is... Do you need a break?
I've been in the mountains for a long time.
I know.
You got energy.
You get energy from nature.
I do get energy from
you in
nature,
particular
man.
get completely recharged.
I get energy from the high mountains.
I know you do.
When you're on like a windswept plain where
I did appreciate
shrubberies.
I did appreciate needing to drive you all the way up the Beartooth Mountain Pass.
Yeah, you saw the high.
With my fear of heights.
Yeah.
Not warned about that. I almost bought the t-shirt that said I got my ass over the pass because it was so frightening.
That is kind of a frightening road.
Welcome back. Okay, underpromise and overdeliver.
So easy.
Central tenet.
That's an easy one. Just like underpromise and overdeliver.
Right.
The greatest thing in the world is when people, deliver more than what they said they would. And, that's just a great...
But it's actually important because there are a lot of people, like the younger me, who always wanted to say yes to everything and please everybody without taking into account the toll it would take on me to deliver, right, to overpromise.
Yeah.
And so it's a pretty big mindset change, which is it's actually a loving act for yourself to be like, okay, yes, I can do that, but here's a realistic expectation, which allows me to not stress myself out and be
exactly
crazy.
Like I'll have that to you in a week and then get it to them in like 3 days.
Yeah, because then you're not.
And then people are like,
oh,
stellar.
Ahead of schedule. Who would have thought?
Nice.
Okay, this one we have been living this a long time. Wake up without an alarm clock.
One of my favorites.
Yeah.
That's what our vision is. That's what a great VMCL does for you. The vision of VMCL. A vision is the thing that gets you up in the morning without an alarm clock. I've never had an alarm clock, never want to have an alarm clock.
Yeah.
I wake up, I jump out of bed, and the thing that gets me excited to get up is the vision that we're working on. 8 billion systems thinkers above the standard. That's exciting to me. And that's the best alarm clock in the world.
That's what a good vision does for you.
Yeah, it's just like whatever your vision is, whatever, it doesn't matter, like whatever excites you. I mean, it could be anything.
Well, and you can have a vision for your family, a
Yeah.
vision for your job. You can have a vision for anything, but something's motivating you to get up. That's what you want. Okay, focus is fitness. Fitness is freedom. So this is about mental fitness. Focus is a muscle, right?
Yep.
Some of us are a little flabby from distractions, but when you train your focus and you learn to direct your attention with intention, you unlock some of your superpower, right?
Yep.
So you're not wasting your motion, your movement. There's less clutter, and it allows you to be more productive. It's basically freedom.
Yeah, and this emerges out of the life of an ADHD person, where focus is the perennial, lack of choice, right? The ADHD people like myself, we either have hyper focus or hypo focus, but we don't necessarily have control over it. So it's not a focus disability. It's not that we can't focus. It's more that we don't have control over focus.
So maybe explain hyper versus hypo.
Hyper means you're like super focused.
Yeah.
Like, right? So I've been super focused for 30 years on the same thing because I'm so enamored by it. Like I'm just so curious about it.
Yeah.
But for example, if you said, could you read this thing on something that I had no interest in at the time, like scheduling things or mailing letters, for example.
Meaning you don't have the ability to move your focus to that.
It would be very difficult because I don't always have control over what I'm focused on. And I'm not saying this just for ADHD people. I'm saying this principle comes out of a world where I have struggled with focus.
Yeah.
Both hyper-focus and hypo-focus, right? Because hyper-focus has its own challenges, right? If you have a job that isn't based on what you're hyper-focused on, that becomes really problematic, right? Like when I was younger and I didn't have as much control over the job, when I had to do this, even though I was focused on this, that's a real problem, right?
Well, it's also a real problem if people don't understand that this hyper-focus can be a gift and a strength. You know, like so early on when we were first married, you would be hyper-focused on something. I would come and I'd bring you a coffee or have something to say, and you just were not able.
Yeah,
you're not able to take your focus. And in the early days, I was like, well, what? You're not going to give me your attention, right? Remember? I was like, well, I'm standing right in front of you, right? But then I started to understand your brain and how that was working. I'm like, oh, this is part of your gift, is that you're hyper-focused, so I will just honor that.
Yeah.
And then the truth is, then when you're off, when you're finished with that, you can give me all of your attention.
That's right.
Right? Which I deserve, obviously.
Exactly. So, I think if you, again, a lot of these combine with each other. So focus is freedom. The more you focus, the more freedom you have. A lot of these things can combine with each other.
Yeah.
So focus is a form of fitness, right? If you can dial in your focus, it's a form of mental fitness.
Yes.
And that fitness is freedom.
Yes.
And I mean that again, fitness in the physical realm, fitness in the cognitive mental realm, mental fitness, motivational fitness, emotional fitness. Those are all forms of fitness.
Yes.
And fitness in this case means fittedness. How much can you fit to the situation you're dealing with? So that is essentially analogous with adaptivity. Are you able to adapt to whatever the situation throws at you, which again goes back to loving reality, right? The reality is the situation I'm in.
Yeah.
Smarts fundamentally is how much can I adapt to the situation that I'm in?
Yes.
So it kind of brings in all the different things we've been talking about, right? I mean, Carhartts and Cufflinks and all these kinds of things, or Vitruvian, different situations in different realms of life or different scenarios are going to be different. How much adaptive fitness do you have?
Right.
Fundamentally, what systems thinking does is it gives you adaptive fitness.
Yes.
It gives you the ability to adapt and fit to whatever situation you're dealing with.
Yes.
And that's important in the mountains. It's important in the workplace. It's important in family. It's important with kids more than anything because they make you adapt more than anything because you love them so much.
Yeah.
And
they're crazy.
and they go through lots of crazy periods. And, so I mean, this is separate from all this, but it's like we have been so hoodwinked by traditional definitions of intelligence.
Yes.
As if it's like this static thing that you either have or that you don't.
Yeah.
Because you can solve a logic problem or like a puzzle. Who cares?
Right.
The most important form of intelligence, the one that we all actually in practice think is truly intelligence, is the ability to adapt. To be smart means to adapt to situations.
Yeah.
And the more situations you can adapt to, the more diverse your smarts are.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. And the more you'll succeed.
And the more you'll succeed, situationally. So you can be smart in one area and not smart in another.
Yeah.
You can be smart on one day and not smart on the next. We're all aware of that, right? So
every once in a while, I'm like,
and you can be one of the smartest people in the world and still do dumb things because you're not adapting to the situation, right?
Right.
And that this explains intelligence so much better than our rudimentary, stereotypical forms of intelligence.
Yeah, I think that's right. Dead on. Okay, drum roll, please. We're on the last one.
Oh, nice.
We made it.
The whole culture code.
Yeah. The last one actually is one, I will tell you that our Cornell students say back to me more than anything else of the things that we talk about. And we could talk about that, which is the way you do anything is the way you do everything.
Oh, man.
Right? So how you sweep the floor is how you lead a team. How you send an email is how you handle a crisis. Small things reveal the bigger patterns. Excellence is not a single act, it's a habit.
Sometimes, I mean, you've heard this many times. We say this to our kids. I always say, like, if you, we say clean the bathroom, clean the toilet, or, and nobody likes cleaning toilets very much. But we always say, like, if you don't like cleaning toilets, the best way to never have to clean a toilet again is to be the best at cleaning toilets. And they kind of do the head tilt dog thing.
Yeah.
I go, that doesn't make any sense. If you're really good at cleaning toilets, then wouldn't everybody just want you to clean their toilets? And yeah, there's some truth to that. But if you're really good at cleaning toilets, the person, the manager, the boss, whoever, the parent, is going to be like, oh, they're really good at that rudimentary job. They're ready for a bigger job.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Because they did it with quality.
Yeah. Right? Mm-hmm. And so what is the manager thinking to themselves? The way you do everything is the way you do anything is the way you do everything. If they can do that with a toilet, they can do it with a bathroom. If they can do it with a bathroom, they can do it with the whole restaurant. If they can do it with the restaurant, they could manage the restaurant.
Right.
That is such an important, and it's kind of counterintuitive because you're like, I hate cleaning toilets. Why should I care about this?
Yeah.
It's like wash the glass like a baby Buddha. It's like, I don't really want to sit here and wash this glass, but if I do the best job at washing the glass, if I really take the whole experience into play and wash it as if I was washing the baby Buddha, take as much care in washing the glass as I would washing the baby Buddha, something precious. Yeah. People are going to notice.
Yeah.
And it also speaks to the fractal nature of things. It also because all these things, like washing the glass or cleaning the toilet or whatever the anything is a fractal. Mm-hmm. So the kind of character that goes into it, all these really hard to teach skills, right? It's easy to teach somebody to wash a glass. It's hard to teach somebody to wash a glass the right way when nobody's watching and nobody's ever going to assess it.
Yeah, or even just to want to do it right.
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
to have the character
to do it right.
Those are the harder things to teach, those character kinds of things. And those are the things that we've lost a lot of in our school systems and things like that.
Yeah.
Those are the harder things to teach. The teaching of how do you wash the glass is pretty easy. Yeah. The teaching of the character to say, I want to do a good job. I put it in the thing and I was done with it, but I notice it's actually not, I'm going to pull it back out and make sure I do it right. That's the hard part.
Well, it's a callback to the intrinsic, extrinsic.
Totally.
Thing. Like, I'm just going to do the job to the minimal required to do the job, check it off. Or I'm a person who wants to do the job right. I'm going to do the job right, regardless of what the job is.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. So when you see somebody do something a certain way, maybe not a great way, I think if we're being honest, all of us sort of go, well, they're probably going to use that same character system on every job I give them.
Yeah.
So they're not ready for all these other jobs.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So that means you're going to be in that job longer. Mm-hmm. So the way you do anything is the way you do everything is kind of this fractal understanding of how life works that, you know, and again, it's because it's not about the specific skill. It's about the character. Mm-hmm. It's about the principles that go into the way you work.
Yeah.
And I think it's just such a powerful thing.
Yeah, I think that's right. Well, we made it through. But here's what I would say, because I was talking to the head of a very large organization a few days ago.
Yeah.
And he asked me, he said, I love your culture code.
Yeah.
He said, I love these episodes. He said, but what if my culture code, I only have 7 things?
Totally.
Or 12 things?
Totally.
Or 3 things? Or 1 thing? Who knows? He said, does that make it right or wrong? And I said, culture code is your culture code.
Be your own goat.
Just be your own code. Like, make your culture code based on those things that are sort of central tenets for you.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, by the way. It's like, first of all, do your own culture code.
Yeah.
Because we actually study culture and how it works and all the ancillary concepts that go with culture. In many ways, this has been the collection of things that have been useful over time, over 30 years. We're not necessarily recommending that people adopt these 30 things. You know, you could have a culture code that's based on 5 things. You could have a culture code that's based on 7 things. You can come up with your own things. But certainly there's a lot in here that you could pick from, steal. I mean, we stole some of these from other people, like other people that talk about it, or whatever you want to call it, like borrowed. Adapted, whatever.
Yeah.
So, you know, what's that thing, you know, beg, borrow, or steal, you know, or create your own.
Yeah.
The important thing is that, to me, the culture code is about the way you do work.
Yes.
Not the work you do.
Yes.
Right? It's the way you approach work. Mm-hmm. And the way you approach work is going to determine how well the work gets done. Right?
Yes.
And those are the harder things to teach.
Yes.
Teaching somebody to code, teaching somebody to wash, you know, clean a restroom, teach whatever the job is, teaching somebody a role or a job or a technique is always what we call quote unquote hard skills, ironically, is always way easier than teaching soft skills.
Yes.
What we call, ironically, soft skills. At Outward Bound, we used to call them soft skills and hard skills. The hard skills is like how to set up a rappel and, you know. I can teach somebody how to set up a rappel, no problem. Mm-hmm. That's easy. Mm-hmm. That's not hard. We call them hard, but they're not hard.
Right, right.
Teaching somebody to, like, be an upstanding person, that takes decades.
I know.
That takes decades. And if people didn't get that training in their upbringing, it's still going to take decades. It's a much harder thing to teach.
Yes, and I think also the other thing that came out in that conversation is, we've talked about this before, but culture will exist. Culture exists. Culture persists. Culture, you know, eats strategy for breakfast or something.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know, Deming or somebody said that.
Yeah.
I think the idea of the culture code, there are 2 things that I think are important. One is really checking with yourself, what are the central tenets of how you want to work as a group? Mm-hmm. And making them transparent and explicit so that they are a shared mental model across your team, which is how you actually can purposefully shape your culture.
Totally.
Rectify a counterculture, right?
Yeah, and to your point, if you don't do that, you'll still have a culture. It'll emerge, and you might not be very pleased with it.
Right.
It might just kind of happen haphazardly and willy-nilly. Mm-hmm. So you want to have some say in what the culture is, and you want to have some say in how shared it is.
Yes.
That it's not just all over the place.
Yes.
And it'll be a lot harder if it establishes itself.
Yeah.
To get rid of it.
Yes, because then you're working
Right?
against.
If there's a culture code, which is cut corners when you can, when nobody's watching, which will emerge and emerges all the time in organizations.
Yeah.
It's going to be real hard to get rid of that.
Because you have to unwind it.
You got to unwind it, unteach it,
and then replace it.
Yeah, and it's a lot easier to not let that grow in the first place.
Yes, which is, I was talking to a CEO who was moving from one very large company to another, and she brought 5 people with her, and she said the hardest thing was reconciling these 2 different cultures. The culture she brought with her from her organization to an existing culture in a new place. So I think the idea is really to make it explicit and to make it a shared understanding, and to know that you can shape it based on having these kinds of things.
And weave it into your assessments, weave it into your evaluations. When we talk to folks, it's like, hey, you're so good at this one and this one and this one, but you're a little weak on this one. Like, just make it a practice.
Yeah.
This is not just get good at it.
I think that's why we have so many too, because we've been working through them. I mean, and then we're like, oh, we've got that one, but it's still important. And then
to me, they're like Legos. It's not like a list that you're like, oh my God, it's so long. It's just Legos, and they're modular. And you're like, in order to do this project, I need to keep in mind these 4 Legos. But in order to do this project, I got to use these 6 Legos.
Yeah.
And over time, you just get good at them.
Yeah.
And they just become who you are.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the end goal. That's the slowest, smoothest, fast. Is like, when it's fast, it's the reason it's fast is because it's who you are.
Yes, I like that.
Right? So culture code is about being. It's just like it emanates out of who you are. So if you practice these things, then they become who you are.
As an individual and as an
individual
organization.
and as teams, as departments, as organizations. That's it. That's the culture code.
That is the culture code. And, everyone should have one that fits for you and your group. And
absolutely.
It's a fun exercise.
All right. I think that is a wrap.